YouTubers, it's me, Wayman29, and I'm back on as promised, and I was going to talk about some more Old Holy War hymns in the biblical text. The next one is Exodus 15, and it's known as the Song of Miriam. Some scholars call it that, and it's from the J writings. If you're familiar with the documentary theory, the different sections of writings from different parts of Israel and time periods, and how it's laced together. Mostly it's based on word usage of the name of Yahweh, Elohim. This particular piece comes from northern Israel, and it's probably one of the most beautiful songs. Talks about it's dedicated to Yahweh, the warrior, and you can read it for yourself. But the first part is Yahweh smashes his enemies, and Yahweh defeats the sea, and Yahweh should be king. And a lot of people feel that the Baal epic might have affected the writing of this in some way, because even in the Psalms, sometimes the hymns to Baal were converted to Yahwehistic poems and songs. So the influence is there. And I happen to have a piece here. It's part of the Baal epic. Some people call it the Baal cycle. This is where Baal fights the sea, because the sea refuses to pay homage to Baal. It's interesting that the name of the sea is Yom, and it's the same name as the Hebrew word for sea. So that's just an interesting comparison. I'm kind of looking away because I'm looking at the biblical text here on my computer. So I'm going to read a piece of this, and here we have, what I'm going to read here is Baal striking the sea down, and his followers throwing him a big party, and they end up claiming him king. Afterwards, they build a temple because Baal was upset because El, who's his father El, never mandated a building for him, although the sons of Asherah had temples. Baal, it wasn't until later he built a temple or had a temple built for himself, and that helped him with his legitimacy as a god. So here we have Baal defeating the sea. The sea stumbled, he fell to the ground, his joints shook, his frame collapsed. Baal captured and drank the sea. He finished off Judge River. Astarte shouted Baal's name. Hail Baal, the conqueror. Hail, rider of the clouds. For Prince Sea is our captive. Judge River is our captive. He served Baal, the conqueror. He honored the prince, lord of the earth. He arose, prepared food, and gave him to eat. He carved a breast before him, with a sharp knife the loin of a fatting. He got up, made ready the feast, and gave him drinks. A goblet in both hands, a large beaker, manifestly great, a jar to astound a mortal, a holy cup which women should not see, a goblet which Asherah must not set her eye on. He took 1,000 jugs of wine, he mixed 10,000 in a mixing bowl. He rose, he sang a song. There were cymbals in the maiden's hands. The hero sang with a sweet voice of Baal on the peaks of Zaphron. Baal looked at his daughters. He set his eye on Pidre, maid of light. and also on Tale, made of rain. So here we have Baal. He conquers the sea, and they throw a big party, and the maidens are singing. And there's some comparison to that. However, there's some other verses to look at also dealing with the same theme as Psalms 78, and we're going to bring that up here and read a part of that. So it's kind of, some people feel, it's kind of stretching. However, when you look at the biblical text, when they're unfiltered from the ideas that we have about theology, especially New Testament theology, really influences the way we look at the Old Testament text. And to finally view them as literature and as works of art, and it makes them come out a lot more than continually trying to find bits and pieces of New Testament prophecy hidden all over and everything. So here we have in Psalms 78 about Yahweh conquering the sea, and it also gives allusion to the Egyptians and the plagues. He turned their rivers to blood so that they could not drink of their streams. Verse 44 and in Psalm 78. He sent among them swarms of flies, which devoured them, and frogs, which destroyed them. He gave their crops to the caterpillar, and the fruit of their labor to the locust. He destroyed their vines with hail, and their sycamores with frost. He made a path for his anger, and he did not spare them from death, but gave their lives over to the plague. And over in Revelation, I know I just said that you shouldn't look for New Testament theology and everything all the time. However, Christian Jews, who were influenced by the Psalms and these kinds of holy war hymns, used those to write about the situation they were in during that day, and they looked for things like this to happen. They looked for Yahweh the warrior to come and deliver them. So the punishment for sinners who persecuted early Christians, the text in Revelation make the plagues that we talk about here 10 times worse to prolong the suffering of the people who persecuted. And so you get scorpions with tails instead of the locust, or it's multiplied. So the beasts are meaner and bigger, and they really pay. So this is just something to think about. Check it out if you get some time, and just read that section. It's chapter 15, 1, verse 1 to 18. The song of Yahweh the warrior conquering the Egyptians. So, until then, have a good day.